In this video, I'm going to talk about how to find Thai people in your city to practice with. Welcome back to my channel. This is Nick Learns Thai. I'm Nick. Before we get into the video, I just want to talk about a Facebook group that I'm involved in. It's a group for both English speakers trying to learn Thai and Thai speakers trying to learn English. We're meeting up there together in this Facebook group and organizing sessions to practice together and help each other learn and improve our language skills. So if you're interested in that, please click on the link in the description. Okay, in this video, I want to talk about 5 different methods that I've used in my city here in Australia to find Thai people to practice speaking Thai with, and talk about which ones are the best that I've found. Okay, so option number 1 is Thai massage shops. Ran Nuat Thai. This was my first idea for finding Thai people because it sort of made sense that Thai massage shops would have to have Thai people working there. Now, to be clear, I don't really want to get a massage because here in Australia that's very expensive, around $80 per hour or more. I just want to visit and hopefully if they're not too busy, have an opportunity to chat with them for a little while and just get some speaking experience. I've sort of developed a phrase that I like to say when I get there to try and ask them if they're willing to chat with me. And that is จริงๆแล้วผมไม่สนใจนวดไทยแค่หาโอกาสที่ฝึกพูดภาษาไทยเพราะว่าผมกำลังเรียนภาษาไทยนะครับถ้าคุณไม่ยุ่งคุยกับผมในภาษาไทยได้ไหมครับ So far, I've visited around 17 shops, massage shops here in Australia. I've had one really long conversation, sort of over multi visits and sort of over several hours, let's say. I've had 3 conversations around 30 minutes or more. I've had one conversation around 15, 20 minutes. And then the rest of the conversations I've had out of the 17 were just a few minutes or even less than that, or I didn't even get the chance to talk to anyone there. I visited and it was closed, or I visited and I couldn't actually connect with anyone, perhaps because they were busy with customers. Now, part of the reason for that is that many of the times when I could visit and drop in and look for shops to go and visit is times when I was free, which is in the evenings or on the weekends. And that's also the times when these shops tend to be the most busy because that's when other people have opportunity to go and get a massage. So the timing perhaps didn't work out as well. I would say that I did try the strategy of visiting just as the shop had opened and to hope that they would be less busy at that time, and also late in the day when they're closer to the closing time. Although perhaps late in the day is worse because they're more likely to be tired and just looking forward to going home rather than taking extra energy to chat to someone. So I think probably early in the morning, like early in the close to the opening time is a good time to visit, and perhaps days of the week or times of the day when it's less likely to be busy is the time to do it. Because I guess one thing with a massage shop is that you want to make it as quiet as possible in there for the customers when they're getting their massage. So you can't really have noisy talking going on. And I guess the one thing that goes along with that is if the shop's large and large enough that they have some sort of reception area, which is separate from the massage rooms, and particularly if they have extra staff that, a reception staff out the front, then that is a better opportunity, I think, to find someone to chat with because you can sit in the reception area, you're not disturbing the customers in the back, and there's someone that you can chat with. So I did have good opportunities to have some chats with people in shops that are like that. But I also had opportunities to chat in other shops, which were smaller. So it really just depends on the luck of the draw a little bit. And I think it's a numbers game. So I did 17, like I said, and out of that, probably got, 5 good conversations. So a little bit less than, or maybe around 30% success rate. But that's my experience with massage shops. Okay, the second option is Thai restaurants. This is an obvious one because Thai food is very popular. So odds are you'll have at least a few Thai restaurants in your city. In the beginning, when I tried this option, I was trying to do the same thing as I was doing with the massage shops and not actually order anything there and just have a chat. But actually, I found that didn't really work for me for some reason. So I had the best success by actually going in there to order food, which I have to do sort of sparingly because it is quite expensive here in Australia, around sort of $20 for a main and maybe $7 to $10 starting for an entree. So I can't be doing that, every day. Get too expensive. Usually go and try and, if I actually want to get some dinner to take home or eat in the restaurant, I'll go and try and use that opportunity to chat in Thai, or I might try and just get an entree, just a smallest thing off the menu, and see if I can have a little bit of a chat while that's being cooked. I've visited around 7 restaurants so far, and my success rate is a little bit worse than with the massage shops. I think perhaps because here Thai restaurants are just really, really busy. Even as soon as they open, they're already busy because they're doing prep work, they're preparing orders for online and takeaway orders, phoned in orders. So even right at the beginning when they open and I get a chance to get in there, already super busy. So there isn't that much opportunity to chat. Yeah, haven't had as much success. So my success so far is out of 7 different restaurants visited, I've had one good long conversation, 15 to 30 minutes. This was a restaurant which was actually mostly a takeaway restaurant, but they did have one table for people to sit in, and I arrived right on opening time. Had a good chat with them and sat down. So I had a good chat sort of before I ordered my food, and then when the food came, and then afterwards as well. So altogether added up to sort of 30 minutes or so. That was the best one so far. Other than that, I had 3 other restaurants where I was able to practice ordering in Thai and have a little bit of a chat, but again, they were quite busy and wasn't really any opportunity to have a long chat. And then the 3 other restaurants that didn't actually even have any Thai staff. So they were sort of Thai restaurants, but either just the owners were Thai, or maybe the chef was Thai, but the staff out the front weren't Thai, or maybe no one there was Thai. So they might have been fake Thai restaurants. I'm not really sure. But yeah, that's something you have to watch out for. So yeah, my tips for trying to get the best and the most out of practicing speaking by going to Thai restaurants would be to actually order food. Like I said, I didn't have much success with trying to go in there and just chat without ordering food, because maybe because there just wasn't really a reason for me to be in there, and there wasn't a reason for them to chat to me because they were busy for the most part. Tip number 2 would be to speak in Thai as soon as possible, to try and establish if they are in fact Thai staff there. So I usually say something like Ben Rana Han Thai Jing Jing Mai, or Ben Rana Han Thai Mai, or Bird Yu Mai, or Bird Gi Mung. Something like that, to just establish straight away if they're Thai, and of course they'll respond if they are Thai, hopefully, if you've pronounced it well enough, or they'll have a very blank face if they're not, and then you can sort of ask them in English, oh, are you Thai, or is this Thai restaurant, or is there anyone here that speaks Thai, or something like that, to try and get to a Thai person so you can actually have an opportunity to practice. Yes, and like I said before, order something small to try and avoid it being super expensive if you're going to try and do this often, and try and arrive right on opening time, I think is the best way to do it, or even before opening time, because they're likely going to be there, going to have staff there before that, and maybe you can arrive like 10 minutes before, and they probably let you in if you're hanging around out the front and they see you there. So that might give you a bit of an extra opportunity to chat before other customers start arriving. Okay, on to the third option for finding Thai people to practice Thai with in your city. That's Thai temples. What Thai? In my city, there's 2 that are, relatively close to me to get to, and then there's one that's even a bit far away, a few hours drive away. So I've only used this option once. I've only been to one of the temples, and I did have a great experience in terms of opportunities to talk. Altogether, more than an hour, and people were extremely friendly, invited me back again, even though I sort of made it clear that I wasn't Buddhist, but I just wanted to practice speaking Thai. However, I have to say that I did feel a little bit uncomfortable just in the fact that I'm not Buddhist. So obviously going to a temple, there's various sort of ritualistic and religious aspects to it that you're sort of meant to do there, and I just didn't feel that comfortable going there and not really knowing what to do in those situations. So far I haven't been back again to that particular temple, and I don't have any current plans to go to any other temples, but that might be something that I'll try again in the future if I can sort of, I don't know, figure out the best way to do it. So just keep that in mind if this is something you want to do. But I do think it's probably one of the best places to meet Thai people, and particularly for longer conversations and conversations where you'll actually have an opportunity to become friends with them, perhaps for many more meetings in the future. Whereas when you're talking with people in other situations that I've talked about, such as at restaurants or Thai massage places, you're probably not going to make friends so much from that. It's just that's more practice in the moment, like an opportunity to have a conversation right there when you're in that in that business. Whereas if you go to a Thai temple and have an opportunity to talk for a long time and perhaps go back, every week, let's say, you can have an opportunity there to make actual friends for the long term and get many opportunities to practice Thai with them, as well as all the other benefits that come with having, more friends. Thai temples definitely recommended, but just that's my experience with being a little bit uncomfortable with going to temples, and I haven't really figured out the perfect way to do it for me. So that's something to keep in mind for yourself, to try and sort of figure that out as well, if that's something that's likely to bother you, but definitely something to look into, because I think it's probably one of the best places to find Thai people to practice with and Thai friends in general. Tips for Thai temples, as I said, I've only been to the one and I've sort of told my experience. One other thing I'll add is just go for it. So in my particular experience, when I went to the temple that I did, when I got there, all the outside area, so it's several different buildings, and the outside area was completely empty, and I could actually see people sitting down inside eating food. They'd already done the sort of religious stuff earlier in the day before I got there, and they were all sitting down eating food together. There was both Australian or Farang around and Thai people, and they were all chatting together, and I almost chickened out and just left, but I sort of got up the courage to knock on the door and say, hey, excuse me, and sort of get into the conversation, get in and meet the people. So I did get up the courage to do that. So that might be a situation like that you'll be faced with when you're coming into a big group of people. So the tip there is just to, get up the courage and just go for it, and get in there and start chatting. Okay, my fourth tip for finding Thai people in your city is Thai Facebook groups. Now, if there's any sort of great number of Thai people in your city, then there's bound to be some sort of Facebook group where they get together and have a community and chat about different things. So what you can do is find those Facebook groups first and get in them and try to find some Thai people in there. So this is my most successful method I've used so far. Now, it's been about sort of 2.5 months since I started trying to meet Thai people in my city, and I got onto this method right towards the beginning. So my success rate so far, I've managed to chat with lots of different people who are interested in meeting up to chat together. But the people that I actually have met in person amounts to 4 individuals or groups, actually 2 individuals, 1 couple, and 1 family. And I've met with all of them at least twice each, and some of them multiple times, and had many hours of conversation in Thai with them overall. So it's been a great method and very successful so far. All of them have been language exchanges. So the understanding being that we chat in Thai, and they help me practice my Thai, and then we chat in English as well, and I help them practice their English too. Obviously, you're not getting 100% Thai, but still, it's still a great opportunity to meet people, and it does give an opportunity and a reason for Thai people to meet with you at all, because otherwise there may not be, most people probably already have their friend groups and stuff. They're not necessarily looking for new friends. So this gives people an incentive to come and meet up with you if you can help them practice their English, because you might be surprised, actually. It's often difficult, particularly for, people coming to be international students or coming from another country. It's often difficult to fit in and have friends, local in that country. So you might find that they really would like the opportunity to practice English, a lot of people there. So that was something that really worked for me, for sure. Now, tips for using this method. Well, my first tip would be to contact an admin first, because, in my case, the group that I joined is called Thai People in the name of my city. So I was a little bit apprehensive at first. Am I going to be welcome in this group? Because I'm not actually a Thai person. So I contacted an admin first, had a chat with them, told them, what my purpose was here, trying to find Thai people to practice Thai with. And they were happy to help me get into the group and approve a post of mine that was going to introduce myself to everyone and say what I was looking for and try to get people to contact me. And they were also able to give me some tips about how the post should be. They said to include a face picture, which I think was a great idea, to help people sort of know who it was, not just a faceless person making this request. So let them know who it was and what to say in the post. Okay, so my fifth method is to attend Thai events or events for Thai people or Thai cultural events in your city. And not every city would have these. It probably depends on the size of the Thai community. But in my city, they have a sort of Thai festival each year, which is sort of Thai cultural festival. They've got all sorts of Thai food, Thai massage, Thai music and dance, and other types of Thai cultural things. So that was fairly early in the time when I was looking to connect with Thai people in my city. So I thought it was going to be a great opportunity to practice my Thai and to meet Thai people. I found it was a little less successful than I'd hoped, mostly because most of the Thai sellers were really, really busy. There's heaps and heaps of people there, lots and lots of people. So they were quite busy, and I didn't really have a lot of time to practice with them. I guess it was similar to my experience with Thai restaurants. I did have lots of opportunities to walk around and buy things, and I did eat a lot that day. So I had all sorts of Thai food and Thai kanom and things like that. So I did have opportunities to chat to each of the people there, and I was glad that I got there early before the crowds came, before sort of the lunch rush as well. So I did have a bit more opportunity then to chat, but it wasn't as good as perhaps I'd hoped. One thing that I did really think that worked well with the Thai event, the cultural event I went to, was I had been to another event before, and I'd met some Thai people there. And the Thai cultural event was a great opportunity to meet up with those people again, because the nature of this event is that most of the Thai people in my city will attend this event because it's sort of this big Thai cultural event where they can, share in their culture and share their culture with others. So lots of the people that I had already met were going anyway. So it was an opportunity to sort of connect with them there and have a chat, and they could show me around and tell me which was the best food or recommend different food stalls and things like that. But it wasn't as good as I'd hoped for meeting people, new people, or for just practicing with people that was there, mostly because it was just so busy. But it was a great fun day anyway, with the food and the dance and all the rest of it. So I did spend the full day there. Other than that event, I have also had the opportunity to go to like a professional networking type event for Thai people. Again, the event was for Thai people and it was all in Thai. I did contact an admin first and they invited me to go. So I would recommend doing that as well, just to make sure that you are going to be welcome because, like I said, it was for Thai people and I'm not Thai, but they were happy for me to come. And when I was there, each person went around and introduced themselves in front of everybody, which was a bit nerve-wracking. And I did the same for myself in Thai and just said that I was there to practice listening because I had some presentations as well as the networking itself. So practice some listening, and it did give me an opportunity to practice listening to two different presentations, and got some help with that. And after the event, after the presentations, there was a bit of networking, and I had an opportunity then to have a chat as well. And the approach I used there, which was recommended by the admin, again, was about a language exchange. So I was going to help people practice their English, and they helped me practice my Thai. So that gave me another reason there, and another reason for them to come and chat with me, and to try and make opportunities to meet up with them later. So that event was also quite good, and there's actually another one of those events coming up soon. So I'm gonna probably go to that one as well, and hopefully get some more benefits from that. Now, tips for getting the most out of these sorts of events. Number one would be contact an admin first, like I mentioned a few different times. So an admin or an organizer, I guess. If they're often these events are going to be on Facebook, so that's where you can get admin, but also just an organizer in general. Contact an organizer and just ask that you'll be welcome, and if they have any suggestions for how you can meet people to practice with at the event. Alongside with that would be perhaps to volunteer to help organize or help them set up or help them do things at the event. I'm sure a lot of events are always going to be happy to have more volunteers. So that could be a great opportunity for you to get in there, and then you get to meet the Thai people that are running the event or involved with the event and have an opportunity there to make some friends and also to speak and give you some opportunities to chat with the organizers, chat with the other people working there, and make some friends as well. And then my last tip would be to schedule some time after the event. Make sure you've got some free time after as well, because if you meet some people there, they might want to go out for food or for a drink after the event, and you want to make sure you've got some free time then as well. I made the mistake of not scheduling time. I did have a little bit of time, but I could have sat there for longer and chatted more, but I had to go to something else, another appointment. So I wish I had actually scheduled some time. So I'll make sure to do that in the future.